Most people who start a YouTube channel focus on the wrong things. They focus on views, they obsess over subscriber count, not having the right equipment to start. They need a better camera, better microphone, better computer, and they completely just scrutinize every single number and metric they see on their YouTube studio. But none of those things are actually that important at all when you're starting out, because when you first start creating content, there's really only two things you need to learn, which I categorize as the fun stuff and the boring stuff. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the 5 technical skills that every creator eventually has to learn if they want to make better videos instead of just focusing on the wrong things. Let's start with the fun stuff. I'm talking about this right here, speaking in front of the camera, sharing your ideas and telling your stories, learning how to express yourself. This is basically the part that everyone imagines when they think about becoming a content creator. But let's be honest for a second. The first few times you turn on that camera and you point it at yourself, it'll be awkward. You won't know where to look. You don't know what to do with your hands. You'll stumble over some words. You stop, you restart, stop again, and before you know it, you've recorded the same sentence 15 times. Like, trust me, I know. I've been there. We've all been there as beginner content creators. And there's really only one way to get better at it, and is that you have to practice it. You have to do it again and again. And that's why I believe that every beginner should focus on quantity over quality at first. Not forever, but only in the beginning. Because when you're starting out, you're not trying to create a masterpiece. You're not trying to create viral videos that get hundreds of thousands of views. At least you shouldn't be, because chances are you won't. What you're really doing is practicing your craft. You're building skills, you're building confidence, but more importantly than anything else, you're building that habit of creating daily or twice a week. And that's why everybody says consistency is important. But consistency isn't some new magical YouTube secret. Consistency is basically just repetition. And repetition is what eventually makes you better and excel in pretty much anything. We're not reinventing the wheel here. That was the fun part, which is creating and filming the actual video. Now let's talk about what I like calling it the boring stuff. Well, at least it is for me. Because whether we like it or not, YouTube was also a technical game. And there are basically 5 technical skills that every new creator eventually has to learn, which are, for me personally, whenever I get an idea, I either write it down on a piece of paper or I just grab my phone and record like a voice note. Now, most of the time, it doesn't make sense, whatever I'm saying, but I just keep on yapping to the phone. I'm just dumping thoughts out of my head, before I forget them. But that's okay. That's actually the goal. The goal isn't to have a perfect idea. The goal is simply to, catch it before it's gone. Now, the second technical skill is scripting and structuring your video. Taking that rough idea and turning it into something that people actually want to watch. Learning how to create a good hook in the beginning of your video, how to structure your thoughts, how to keep people interested all the way through, and learning how to end your video in a way that makes people want to watch another one once they're done with the first one. Because, even the greatest idea in the world could fall flat if it's communicated poorly. Number 3 is the part that I hate the most, which is editing videos. Unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to learn it unless you could afford like a personal editor. But basically, yeah, just learning how to use cuts, B-roll, basic B-roll, music, sound effects, zooms, transitions, anything that helps keep the viewer interested and engaged throughout the entirety of your video. I personally use my iMovie on my Mac because I use a Mac and it's free. But there are plenty of other great or even better programs out there to edit. But just pick one and master it, and you'll get there. Number 4 is production. Just learning basic lighting, framing, learning where to place your microphone, learning how sound works, understanding that really audio is so important. You can't stress it enough to new content creators. A lot of them don't realize this, but people will forgive average video quality, but they won't forgive bad audio. I literally surround myself with pillows because it helps to absorb some of the sound when I'm recording. It makes the audio clearer and more professional. And finally, the last boring part that you're gonna have to get good at is packaging. And honestly, this one is, in my opinion, the most important one of them all, because if nobody clicks on your video, nobody watches your videos. And I'm talking about here is your thumbnails and your title and your video description also. These are the things that convince someone to give your content a chance. Because, I mean, you could create the greatest, most interesting video in history. If nobody clicks on it, nobody will ever know. And no matter how good or entertaining your video was. And unfortunately, that's pretty much how YouTube works. So you got to get good at it. I mean, there are no shortcuts. Here's what starts happening after you posted enough videos and you start becoming better at it. You'll start to get faster pretty much at everything. You'll become more comfortable in front of the camera. You'll stop overthinking every little thing. And you should, at that moment there, start shifting from quantity to quality. So instead of trying to make as many videos as possible or trying to keep a strict schedule, you should gradually start spending more time on each video, but making them better quality, like higher end quality videos, because you'll start understanding that one great produced video usually outperforms 10 average videos, and sometimes by a lot. And eventually, if you work hard enough and your channel really starts growing, you could at that point start delegating some of the boring stuff that you don't like doing to real professionals that make great work in their field. You could hire an editor, you could outsource someone to make your thumbnails, you could subcontract someone to help you with your titles or your video descriptions, and then you're left only doing the thing that you loved from the beginning, which is just creating videos. And honestly, that's my goal. One day I'd love to just come up with ideas, write my scripts, turn on the camera and talk. No editing, no thumbnails, no technical stuff, like none of that. Just creating videos. But until then, I'm learning all of it. I mean, I have no choice. And I'm putting in my reps and getting better day in, day out. Just like you should too, is if this is what you really want to do. So, on a final note, if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel right now, or maybe you already have put out a few videos, don't worry about being great. Don't worry about the views that you're getting or not getting. You know, don't worry about getting a viral video. Just focus on getting the reps in. Focus on learning the fun stuff and also learning the boring stuff. You have no choice. And just try to improve every day those 5 skills that I spoke about, and you'll be good. Because really, 6 months from now, if you're consistent and don't stop posting, I'll guarantee you, you'll look back and realize you're a completely different creator than the person who started. Just remember, there are no shortcuts. And as you may know, if you've been following me from the beginning, I'm currently on my journey to my first 1,000 subs. So if you found this video useful, just consider subscribing or just hit the like button. It really helps me a lot, all right? So I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.